What if you could remember everything? Every conversation, every face, every second of your entire life, in perfect detail, forever. Within 72 hours, your brain would already be struggling to store it, because the physical space for new memories doesn't just expand to fit. And by year 10, the thing that was supposed to make you smarter would be quietly destroying your ability to function at all. I'm Nova, and this is Nova Explains What If. The show where I take one impossible question and chase it all the way to the edge of what science actually knows. Today's question hits closer than any cosmic disaster. What happens to your mind if it never forgets a single thing? One documented case remembers every single day since age 14, and it hasn't made her life easier. Number 6, sensory overload, and it starts faster than you'd think. Right now, your brain uses a process called synaptic pruning, quietly deleting the sights, sounds, and smells that don't matter, so the ones that do stand out. Take that away, and by hour 12 of your new perfect memory, you're replaying the hum of every fluorescent light, every stranger's cough, every gust of wind against your jacket, all stored with the same weight as your best friend's voice. Neuroscientists call this the encoding bottleneck problem. Your hippocampus wasn't built to file everything as equally important because equally important means nothing stands out at all. You'd walk into your kitchen and simultaneously relive every other time you've ever walked into that kitchen. Thousands of near-identical moments stacked on top of each other like transparent photographs. Studies on real hyperthymesia cases describe exactly this. Intrusive, involuntary flooding, triggered by ordinary cues like a smell or a date on a calendar. The ripple effect nobody expects. Decision-making collapses because choosing what shirt to wear now means wading through every shirt-choosing memory you've ever had. Efficiency, the very thing memory is supposed to give you, is the first casualty. Number 5, pain never softens. Normally, your brain relies on something researchers call the Ribot gradient. Older emotional memories lose their sharp edge over time, while the facts stay put, which is exactly why an embarrassing memory from age 9 barely stings anymore. With perfect recall, that fading never happens. Every humiliation, every argument, every loss replays at the exact emotional intensity of the day it occurred, indefinitely. By year 2, you're not just remembering your worst days, you're re-experiencing them at full volume, because the amygdala tags each memory with its original emotional charge, and that tag never degrades. Grief researchers already worry about something similar in hyperthymesia patients who describe reliving old sorrows as if no time has passed at all. Here's the ripple nobody predicts. Relationships suffer because you can no longer give people the benefit of forgetting. Every small betrayal from a friend 15 years ago sits right next to yesterday's, equally raw, equally present. Forgiveness, it turns out, isn't just a moral choice. It's partly a neurological mercy, built from decay you never asked for and would desperately miss. Number 4, you'd actually get worse at learning. This sounds backwards, but forgetting is a functional part of how skills form. Researchers call it the forgetting curve. Practicing something, partially losing it, then relearning it is literally how your brain builds stronger, more efficient neural pathways, a process tied to synaptic consolidation during sleep. If nothing fades, that rebuilding cycle never triggers. By month 6 of perfect memory, you'd notice something strange. You remember every piano lesson in flawless detail, yet your fingers still fumble the same passage because motor skill isn't stored as facts. It's stored as refined pathways built through repeated forgetting and correction. You'd have the data without the mastery. Athletes, musicians, and surgeons all rely on this invisible pruning to convert conscious effort into automatic skill. Take it away and every physical skill stays permanently at the effortful, clumsy stage, no matter how many times you remember doing it right. The ripple effect. Expertise as a concept collapses. If knowing every detail of every attempt doesn't make you better, the whole idea that practice makes perfect starts to look like it depended on forgetting all along. Number 3, and here's a question worth sitting with. Who are you if you can never simplify your own story? Normally, your identity runs on something psychologists call the reminiscence narrative, a compressed highlight reel. Your brain builds by forgetting almost everything and keeping only the moments that feel like you. Perfect memory deletes the compression. By year 3, instead of a clean story, I was shy, then I grew confident. You're holding every single contradictory data point simultaneously. Every awkward moment, every confident one, unfiltered and unranked. Real hyperthymesia cases report exactly this kind of identity strain, describing their sense of self as cluttered rather than clarified. The mind doesn't build a self from raw footage. It builds one from a heavily edited trailer, and now the trailer is gone. The ripple effect nobody sees coming. Therapy itself starts to break down, because talk therapy leans on reframing memories into healthier narratives. And reframing requires the old version to fade a little to make room for the new one. If nothing fades, every reframe just becomes one more unresolved layer stacked on all the others, and the story of you never gets to finish being told. Number 2 takes us off your body and into your whole city. Legal systems quietly depend on imperfect memory. That's not a flaw, it's baked into the design. Statutes of limitations exist partly because eyewitness memory naturally degrades, and the law assumes people, records, and grudges fade. Now imagine a city where nobody forgets anything. Every unpaid debt from decades ago, every minor slight, every old insult sits in permanent, vivid, retrievable detail for everyone at once. Within a year, courts would be flooded, because perfect witnesses remembering perfect, unfading detail actually makes trials harder. Psychologists already know vivid confidence in memory doesn't equal accuracy. And now millions of people would be equally, unshakably confident about conflicting versions of the same event. Insurance, credit scores, criminal records, all of them rely on society eventually letting things go. Take away forgetting, and you take away second chances as a civic mechanism, because nobody, including the justice system, ever gets to treat the past as past. The ripple effect. Entire cities become archives of grievance, where every argument between neighbors has an unbroken, undying paper trail nobody consented to keeping. And number 1, the one nobody sees coming. Forgetting isn't a bug in human history, it's the feature that lets civilization keep moving. Historians and sociologists describe something called social forgetting, the slow fading of old wars, old currencies, old grievances between nations, which is quietly necessary for peace treaties, reconciliation, and rebuilding after disaster to actually work. Now scale total recall up to an entire species. Imagine every war crime, every broken promise, every historical betrayal between nations remembered by everyone, everywhere, with zero fading, forever. Reconciliation commissions, from South Africa's to Rwanda's, depended partly on communities eventually being able to move certain memories into the background to rebuild shared life. Perfect global memory would freeze every old wound at full intensity, permanently, with nothing ever softening into history. Here's where it turns genuinely speculative. Some researchers wonder if a species that never forgot anything could still innovate at all, since progress often requires letting go of the way we've always done it. The uncomfortable possibility is that forgetting isn't memory's failure. It's the quiet mechanism that lets individuals heal and lets entire civilizations start over. So the lesson hiding inside all 6 of these isn't that memory is good and forgetting is bad. It's that they're the same system, and one doesn't work without the other. Your identity, your relationships, your legal systems, even your civilization's ability to rebuild after disaster, all quietly depend on things fading exactly as much as they depend on things being remembered. Perfect recall isn't an upgrade to being human. It might be an entirely different, harder way to exist. So tell me in the comments, if you could keep just one memory forever, guaranteed to never fade, which one would you choose, and why? If this made you see your own forgetful brain a little differently, subscribe for the next What If. Because next time, we're taking something else you take for granted and pushing it all the way to the edge.